Alright guys, welcome back to another video. So there's been a bit of talk about, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. I'll touch on that a bit today. So basically the whole Russell Wilson deal, if you didn't know, he's been involved in a bit of trade rumors recently. The deal is he called out his O-line a few weeks ago. Basically said that they need to do better, which they do. It's not really, they've been pretty awful, the Seahawks offensive line. Now they do need to do better, but I don't feel like Russell Wilson venting that frustration publicly is a great idea, and kind of starts to create a bit of a divide in the locker room. If the quarterback's publicly dissing the offensive line, maybe some guys won't be as motivated to play with him. But the big news today. There's a report in the Athletic, I believe this morning. I don't know actually. Yeah, I think this morning, that Russell Wilson had stormed out of a meeting in the middle of the regular season after a loss when him and his when all the offensive coaches and him were discussing how to fix the offense and what they needed to change. I guess Russell wasn't happy about it. He just left. So that news kind of came out today. So a lot of people are starting to think maybe Russell doesn't want to be a Seahawk anymore. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else, maybe to a bigger market. I don't know. I'm now reminded of Colin Cowherd's awful take where he says, "Oh, Russell Wilson's going to be a Giant. He's going to play for the Giants." And remember when he said that 3 years ago? Oh, I hate that man. He's an idiot. Anyways, it's important to remember, he hasn't publicly asked for a trade, so we don't actually know this. He's probably fine with the Seahawks. He's pretty comfortable there, and he's just frustrated with not winning and, losing in the wild card every round every single year. Now, obviously this season they tried to do the let Russ cook work in a thing, or let Russ cook deal. That didn't work out. It seemed to kind of implode. It worked really well for a few weeks. They destroyed Atlanta and a few teams earlier in the season. And Russ was an MVP candidate until it kind of imploded around mid-season. And they just fell off offensively. They weren't the same. And they never could really get back on the right foot. They lost to Jared Goff, who didn't even have a thumb on his throwing hand in not in the wild card round. So that kind of sucks for them. What else? What do I think will happen? I don't think he gets traded. I don't even know if he wants to trade. I think he's a bit too valuable. If he's in the open market, he's got to be worth at least 2, maybe 3 first, and then somebody's starting quarterback. I don't know who had the tweet, but I think somebody tweeted when the NFL Insider guy said, if you're going to give away an elite quarterback with the talent level of Russell Wilson, you have to be getting your answer back at quarterback. You have to get something from that trade that's going to be able to put you in a position to immediately get another, at least franchise quarterback, hopefully elite quarterback. I don't know that's going to happen. A few teams that supposedly are being mentioned, these rumors, are the Saints, which that's just not going to happen. They're in cap hell right now. And there's no way the Seahawks are going to want a bunch of draft picks in the 30s. They want those early first-round draft picks. The Raiders, I don't really see that happening. Got to get rid of Derek Carr. It would be pretty interesting to see Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert all in the same division. This poor just Drew Lock in the corner. The Jets. I think they have if anyone's going to make a run for Russell Wilson, it's probably them. They have the cap space to do it and the draft capital. But like I said, they have to be getting that answer back at quarterback immediately. I don't know that can happen with the Jets, although they do have the second or third overall pick. It's escaping me for some reason. They have the second or third overall pick. I believe the third. And I don't know if you could get the guy you want. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is going to go to the Jags, so maybe they like maybe it just depends on how much they like a Justin Fields or a Zach Wilson, or maybe Mac Jones. He's the guy I've been hearing talking about. That a lot of people think, most people think he's probably going to be like a late first rounder. But I've heard a few people say that he might, jump up some boards, and he looks really good to a lot of the expert dudes. And then the Dolphins, who could throw Tua in, and that'll give the Seahawks an immediate answer. This would be a massive trade for the Dolphins. That would definitely immediately put them in Super Bowl contention. Russell Wilson. As would, I think, any of those teams. I guess not the Jets, but Saints, Raiders, and Dolphins. That would put all of those teams immediately in Super Bowl contention. But I don't think he gets traded. I think he's too valuable. And then the Deshaun Watson stuff today. He has, unlike Russell Wilson, demanded a trade. I believe the reason being he's frustrated with the team. He feels kind of a bit betrayed. He was told he would be involved in the head coach and general manager search, and it sounds like, at least from his point of view, they kind of just ignored what he asked for. He had a tweet today that said loyalty is everything. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, that means a lot coming from you," sarcastically. But I think what he's trying to say is he's a bit upset, and he doesn't think that they've been loyal to him. And when he signed that contract 6 months ago, he thought he was going to be in a winning situation where he was the face of the franchise, and he was going to be listened to by the guys in the front office, and that just hasn't happened, and he wants out. I can't really blame a guy for wanting to win. Obviously, the Texans have just imploded over the last year. They went from a team in a Super Bowl window to a team who's probably looking at another bottom of the barrel season next year, and they don't look to be getting any better. So you can't really blame the guy for wanting to win. I'm certainly not going to. What he's worth, I think he's worth at least 3 first-round picks, maybe, and then someone starting quarterback like with Russell Wilson. I believe Deshaun Watson is maybe not right now, but definitely has a ceiling to be a better definitely will be a better quarterback than Russell Wilson is. But they both have very similar values, mostly just because I think it's the most anyone can give up for one player is 3 first-round picks. I don't think anyone else is willing to give up more picks. So I think they need 3 first-round picks, and like with Russell Wilson, you got to be getting an answer at quarterback. Some teams have been talked about. The Dolphins, who could switch to for Watson. That might happen. Probably not. The Panthers, who don't really have a quarterback they give up, they could give up Christian McCaffrey. I don't see that happening, though. I think they're just going to probably chill, probably try and get a quarterback in free agency or the draft. David Tepper I believe he said that he wants to find a franchise quarterback as soon as possible. They weren't really into moving forward. They didn't want to move forward with Teddy Bridgewater due to, I believe, something along the lines of physical restrictions was the quote. And then there's the Bears, who maybe, but probably not. They could definitely make a run at him, but it's the Bears. The Broncos have been talked about. I don't really see that happening, considering John Elway's nice little fetish for tall white quarterbacks who are also awful at football. But he's not the GM anymore, thank God, as he's ruined that organization. He won him a Super Bowl, but after that, he's done absolutely nothing. To be fair, winning a Super Bowl is kind of the goal. I wouldn't mind winning Super Bowl and then being awful for a few years. But I'm a Chiefs fan, so we're in good. Um, the Jets, who definitely could also make a run at him, um, but they have the cap space too. They have the picks. They could probably get anyone they want at this point. Maybe not a Mahomes, obviously. Um, Also, Deshaun Watson does have a no trade clause. He's not going to go anywhere he doesn't want to. I don't remember if Russell Wilson has one or not. I'm going to check that real fast, actually. Um, who else? The Jaguars. I don't think they're going to give up their first round pick um, for the number one spot. Obviously, they're going to get Trevor Lawrence. I do think Deshaun Watson has an infinitely higher ceiling than Trevor Lawrence, but a lot of people feel differently. Does Russell Wilson? Okay, 8 player. Yes, Russell Wilson does have a no trade clause, so he's not going to. Russell Wilson's not going to go anywhere he doesn't want to. So, um, so both these guys, they're not going anywhere they don't want to. They're going to be chilling, having fun wherever they want to go. The Jaguars, yeah, like I said, maybe switch the number one overall pick for him, but I don't think that's going to happen. You'd have to have more stuff on top of that. The Raiders, I love to see Deshaun Watson in a Raiders uniform. I think their fans have suffered enough as much as I hate them. This year's Week 5 Super Bowl champs, the Las Vegas Raiders. But all jokes aside, I'd love to see Deshaun Watson in a Raiders uniform. I think that'd be really fun. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're trying to extend Derek Carr, so that sucks for everyone involved, except for Derek Carr. The 49ers also, this would be a super team. They'd probably guarantee themselves at least one, probably 2 or 3 Super Bowls if they could bring in Deshaun Watson to the 49ers. I don't know that they necessarily have the pieces to, though. Jimmy Garoppolo also has a no trade clause, so he's not going to go anywhere he wants. So if they wanted to include Jimmy Garoppolo, that kind of sucks. I don't think that trade will go through because if there's anywhere Jimmy doesn't want to be, I guarantee you it's on the Texans. Um, yeah, I don't think these trades are going to happen, especially Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. They're too valuable at the end of the day, in my opinion. And I don't see them getting. I think teams just have to give up too much to get them, and I also don't think either of these teams are open to trading either Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. So that's my take. I kind of hope I'm proven wrong. I'd love to see both these guys, mostly just Deshaun Watson on a different team, but I wouldn't mind Russell Wilson. And please don't trade Russell Wilson to the Giants so I can continue making fun of Colin Cowherd. Anyways, so like, subscribe, and bye. I think I'll have the Utah Jazz video tomorrow. I think that's the plan. So yeah, see ya. Bye.